Very good evening, friends. Meeting again in the session of Materia Medica. And we are discussing since yesterday a very important remedy, that is the Aurum Metallicum, king of antisyphilitic remedy. Few aspects, very few aspects of Aurum Met we have learned in yesterday's lecture. Today we are going to learn few more. Before going into the Allen's keynotes, we'll just discuss few cases. One case of a depression which I want to share with you. It was nearly about, this case was around 2000. A fellow came to me with, he was a old man, 60 years, who has done throughout the life the business. It was not big business. He used to do everywhere. There are very near places, and on every village he used to go for business every day. And he has he was having a reputed name because he was the person of ethics, very trustworthy person. He used to earn money, and whatever he has earned, then he used to spend only on those things from where he has borrowed that all material, and then he used to repay, and whatever he has got the benefit that he used to spend for family, and very religious fellow. Throughout life, he has he doesn't have so much of money with him, but he has earned a good name. And one day he came to me for severe vertigo. So actually he wanted to meet my father, but my father was out of station for a month, and he met me. And he said, "Can you give me some medicine for this vertigo?" I said, "Why not?" But I asked one question, looking towards his face. His face was absolutely morosed, depressed. So I asked him, what is the problem with you? Is there any anxiety, worry? When I put this question, all of a sudden, what he felt, I don't know. He started weeping like a child. And then he told me whole story. He explained me that in the childhood, since childhood till today, I was working and working. Doctor, in life, I have done much hard work. I have my own house. I have my specific name. The all the businessmen over here, they knows me very well. They know that how much ethical I am. I am how much trustworthy. If I say yes, I want so much of money, no one will say no. That much name I have earned. But unfortunately, all my three sons, they have developed they have developed all habits in their life. All of them are married. They have their own children, but all of three have all varieties of habits. Nowadays, the state has happened that whatever is there inside the house, they are selling and getting the money, and they are drinking either the alcohol, or they are taking the drugs and all those things. I'm so frustrated that I don't want to live. I want to make suicide. But problem is that there are three granddaughters to me, and if I will suicide, what will happen to them? Who will going to uh, get married with them? I have fixed my destination. I will remain alive till the marriage of them, and thereafter I will not remain over there. Then I will finish myself. I am so frustrated. Only looking towards them, I am living. And this whole story was real story. And he went to the ENT specialist. He has given some complamina tablet or vertine tablets to him, but it doesn't have any impact because the reason behind the vertigo was different. This whole depression, whole story was the big reason for his vertigo. So I repertorized the case, and it was looking like a very clear picture. The person who used to be very religious, who used to like bhajan kirtans, who used to be very industrious throughout his life, very trustworthy, very responsible, taking care of everyone. But at the same time, the opposite failed side is the frustrated side of him. Two opposite poles, two opposite ends found in a one patient. It is typical Aurum Met. So I have directly started him on Aurum Met. I have given him Aurum Met 200, 3 doses. I asked him to meet me after 3, 4 days. After 3, 4 days, when he came, he said, Doctor, please give me those three dose again. I felt very much good after taking those. I slept whole night in a very quiet manner. Since long time this has not happened, but this first time this has happened. And then I have repeated the placebo only. I have not given him Aurum Met because it was working. And asked him to just meet me after a month because he was not my regular consulting patient. He was just there because my father was not there. He really met me after 1 month and he was quite a good man. He had changed his thoughts of suiciding. Now he said, okay, whatever is there in their destiny of my sons, it is their destiny. I could not change. But I have to live and I have to go further. I have to make the marriages of my all three granddaughters. And he said, thank you to me. So it's wonderful remedy to be utilized in a proper manner if you understand the core of the remedy. And second case was a case of again osteomyelitis. A patient was brought to me who had an accident 1 years back. He had a direct injury to his face. The nasal bone was fractured. Then there were fractures over there on the maxillary bones, and he was operated 2, 3 times. The problem was that there was a lot of discharge from the nose, and it was too painful. And doctor said that it will not going to get cleared because your bone is infected from that side. They labeled him as a case of osteomyelitis because of compound fracture which has happened over there. 2 times he was operated off and on antibiotics, not getting settled, and having very severe pain over there. And pain used to get aggravated specifically at night. He was a very particular person. He was doing job. He was just 26 years of age. He was doing the job before that uh, since his age was 22. He was doing the job because there was a responsibility. His father has expired early, and he is the only person in the family who was earning, and he was doing the job and he was particular. Even after injury, within 6 months when he recovered, and still he was working, and his work was very, very particular. He used to go for duty in time and doing a big work over there. He was a responsible person in that specific work. But having this severe pains, and he said, I'm getting frustrated, doctor. The pains are so severe that I get disturbed. I felt disturbed and despair what to do because they are not getting settled. Doctor gives me antibiotic, anti-inflammatory. For time being, I used to feel better and it recurs. Actually, I'm not a person who will not bear the thing, but it is so severe character I could not handle. He was also a very religious person and he was interested in classical music. That was another thing with him. Aurum persons are likes the music and music ameliorates. That is very important modality. Music ameliorates. Aurum is there. It is not there in music desire for. It is there in music ameliorates. And what type of music? The classical music, the bhajan, the kirtan, a slow rhythm music always liked by the Aurums and better by it. They feel better by. So I have started him on Aurum directly on the LM potency, repeated continuously. Within 2-3 months of treatment, gradually pain started subsiding, but it was still the discharge was going on. And one day he came in the morning and he said, Doctor, there is something coming out and I feel afraid what to do. I just looked towards him, a part of bony part which has become darkened and it was just coming out from that nasal bone. So what I have asked, let us continue with the medicine, wait for another week. It itself comes out, then it will be better. If we'll pull it, there will be a lot of bleeding. So I said, let it be. And I have continued with the medicine. I have given Silicia 6 at that time along with that. Within span of 4-5 days, it came out completely. Little bit part was remaining, and just I pulled it with the forceps and it recovered. Thereafter, the whole wound recovered. So this is a wonderful remedy for the caries of bones, osteomyelitis, where pains generally gets aggravated at night. That is the modality of syphilitic miasm which is there. It is a wonderful remedy for that. So keep it in your mind. This is purely syphilitic, having all characteristics of syphilitic miasm. We have finished, I think, 4 paragraphs of Aurum from Allen's Notes. Open your Allen's Notes, page number 53 in my book. There is a written in bold letters, constantly dwelling on suicide. It is bold. And yes, this is the failed side of Aurum. That is a despair state of Aurum. So they goes on thinking of suicide. Naja also has the similar feeling, suicidal thoughts. This remedy, Aurum, generally thinks and they act. That is very typical with the Aurum. Natrum self, they thinks, but they don't have capacity to do it, like a nux, but is afraid to die. It is nux or natrum self is very specifically. The suicidal thoughts are there, but they are afraid to die, and that's why they never do they attempt the suicide. Profound melancholy. Melancholy is tremendous sadness, profound melancholy. Feels hateful and quarrelsome. Desires to commit suicide. Life is a constant burden. After abuse of mercury, nearly all complaints. So this is the failed side of Aurum, which is always explained in all materia medica, but Aurum is not like that to start with. Aurum is exactly the opposite, very active, very interested, very meticulous, very fastidious, very much goal oriented, very ambitious. But only thing problem is that he expects same thing from others. He has a fatherly approach with everyone. Fatherly approach means the way father always looks towards their children, upbringing of their children, they expect their children should grow in a proper manner. Same thing, Aurum expects everything from each and every person who is in contact with them. But if it never happens, then the failed side of aurum comes up. They are uneasy. After abuse of mercury with nearly all complaints, after abuse of mercury, yesterday we have discussed. Mercurial preparation was the only treatment for the primary syphilis, that is the primary chancre. And when it gets suppressed because of mercurial preparation and when it enters inside, affecting the bones, then this is called as bad effects of mercury after abuse of mercury. Uneasy, they are uneasy, hurried. They never walk slowly, they are always fast, active. Great desire for mental and physical activity. This is the positive side of our. They are active, they are fast, they are doing the works in a particular manner, very meticulous regarding the timings, regarding the orders, regarding the arrangements, regarding the keeping the notes, everything in a perfect manner. Uneasy, hurried, great desire for mental and physical activity, cannot do things fast enough. Argentum nitricum. Hasty, hurried they are. But because of hastiness, hurriedness, many times it happens that they cannot do the things very fast. Little bit confusion happens. And if it happens, there is a problem. They get frustrated. They they say what is there in my destiny. They blames their destiny. And then a failed side comes. The main reasons for them, elements from anger, elements from fright. So fright is one reason, anger is second, contradiction. This is a big reason. They cannot tolerate the contradiction. If someone contradicts, finished. They are disturbed. So much disturbed that anger and that anger remains inside. There is one word written over there, resolved displeasure. Resolved displeasure means they get angry, they never liked the displeasure which has happened in their life, but they keeps it inside like a staphysagrade. Staphysagrade is one more remedy where there is resolved displeasure. Aurum is like that. Aurum gets disturbed but keeps it inside, never fights directly, never wants to show their anger, never wants to say that, but goes on brooding, goes on keeping it inside and thinking what is wrong with me. If you open the repertory under the anxiety concerns, Aurum is good mentioned for specific marks. Conscientious about triples and anxiety concerns, both rubrics are covered by Aurum. Aurum is like that. Aurum never first blames others, he blames himself. What is wrong with me? He always thinks what is wrong, what wrong I have done. They never says what wrong others have done. Aurum are like that. They blames their destiny. So elements from anger, contradiction, mortification, vexation, mortification. Mortification means if someone says bad words toward them in front of others, they they becomes it becomes so hurtful for them. They never wants to come out of that grief. That remains in their mind because they have earned certain name and they never want to ruin that. That is very typical of the Aurum. So elements from mortification, vexation. Vexation means tremendous anger, santap आपण म्हणतो, which has happened because of wrongs done by others and he gets vexed in a vexation mood. Dread and resort displeasure. Resort displeasure means when they are displeased, they keeps it inside, never shows. That is, they get disturbed but never wants to show it in front of others. They are the people who control their emotions inside more, never shows it to the people. But when it goes beyond limit, then they go on suiciding themselves. Oversensitive. See, this is the whole mental state which has been mentioned, and Aurum is the remedy which we can decide on the basis of the mental state. They are very sensitive. There is one thing, sir, is the Aurum people are OCD because they are particular about everything. No, Aurum is not that much in OCD. Obsessive compulsive disorder, it is not so much. Arsenic is there. Arsenic, you will get the rubric, checks and rechecks the things again and again. That is there with arsenic also. With arsenic, there is this, arsenic is there markedly under the compulsive disorder. Arsenic has that restlessness. So arsenic is the remedy which is more marked with OCDs. Oversensitive. Oversensitive, least contradiction excites the wrath. Wrath means tremendous anger, krodh. So oversensitive, least contradiction excites the wrath, like conam. Oversensitive to pain, oversensitive to smell, oversensitive to taste, oversensitive to hearing, oversensitive to touch. See the sensitivity, more marked. Syphilitic sensitivity, you can say that is syphilitic sensitivity. These are the persons who used to get the smell very early than the rest of the others. This is very, very marked with them. They immediately get something, some stink is coming. That they say homeopath should be like that. Because sometimes the perspiration itself defines the remedy if you are very sensitive. So sense of smell, that is very marked with them. Sense of taste is marked. These are the people who used to say and tell immediately. They never keeps inside that taste is bad or taste is it. They immediately tells, yes, this is the taste. Hearing is also sensitive. They listen sound at a distance. They listen it very easily. They are very alert regarding this. And to pain, they never allows you to touch their parts. Osteomyelitic patients never allows them to touch their parts. It is so sensitive, like anagadi. So see the mentality of the aura. Very nicely he has explained. Whole first those paragraphs explain the whole mental state of the aura. The two sides, one the positive side and the negative side, both are mentioned. Only one thing which was not mentioned over there is the religious aspect of the aura. One more thing which is not mentioned over here is the music ameliorates. They likes the religious music and that religious music always ameliorates the complaints of the patient. Those are not mentioned. Just write it there. The industriousness which is not mentioned over there, they are very hard worker. Aurum is there under the industrious rubric. Then one more thing which is not mentioned in those paragraph was the conscience of Aurum. They are very conscientious people. In fact, anxiety conscience is very marked with them. These are things you add on your book because that actually clears the picture of the Aurum. So Aurum are the persons who never blames other. Merc is the person who will kill others or will kill himself. Merc thinks what wrong has done by others. Aurum says what wrong I have done. That is anxiety concerns of Aurum. That's what you have to find it out. The Aurum personality is like that. So this is what he has explained about the mental state. I think particulars will start tomorrow because particulars are again we have to understand. We'll discuss this remedy on Monday. Rest of the remedy. So we'll keep up to this, but add those things which I have told regarding the religious affections. Aurum is marked. One important thing, there is a religious mark always there with the Aurum personality. One feature which is there, I think it is given at the end or somewhere else, I don't know. Knobby tip of the nose is very characteristic of the Aurum personality. Nobino, single remedy Aurum in Kent's repertory. Now they have added Calcarea over there, but I have seen it very characteristically with the Aurum, knobby tip of the nose. So that also you can add over there. And rest of the things already we have discussed. So industriousness of the Aurum should not be forget. So we'll stop over here tomorrow. That means on Monday we'll meet again And most probably on Monday or Tuesday we'll finish the remedy, because this is a good remedy to be learned. And once you understand this side, the positive side of Aurum, you'll get it many times in your practice. Many times, many Aurums. What has done, we it has been a fixed impression in our mind that Aurums are suicidal, and we wait for the patient, that patient will come and he will tell that I want to suicide. No one who comes like this. Aurum patient, they, you will directly gets a news that that fellow has done suicide. And that's why you cannot get, if you get it in positive side, then it's okay, because then you prevent that suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts in them. And that's why we have to understand whole story of Aurum. So that's all for today. Thank you and good night to everyone. And my suggestion, tell your friends to join this unique activity, so that together we can learn and we can go ahead. Thanks a lot. If any query is there, we can have a chat. Otherwise, we'll conclude. Is there any question? Okay. Good night and bye. Yes, Durai sir. Do you want to talk?